Jessica has an idea for the show. Good morning, Jessica.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jessica. I'm calling from Buckeye. I was calling to give you guys like a little funny idea for like a little segment that you guys could do. Mm-hmm. I was thinking that you guys could do like a little segment where everybody takes turns doing an impersonation of somebody else that's on the show. So it could also include like Grant and Nick. I got the idea because one time, John Jay, you were impersonating Rich, and I thought it was so funny because you sounded just like him. So I thought, wouldn't it be kind of funny if everybody on the show did that?
Ooh, I wonder how I impersonated Rich.
I know.
Want to watch you play guitar?
I don't remember.
Want to watch you play guitar?
First of all, my voice is deeper and more luxurious than that.
Want to watch you play guitar?
Yeah, I just thought that would be really funny, like, for everybody to do that. And like I said, it'd be funny to include, like, Grant and Nick as well.
That's a good idea.
Grant. How would you imitate Grant? You guys see this documentary? 9/11 never happened.
Yeah. He's a full conspiracy theory with Grant. Maybe
Why does he sound like a cartoon mouse when you do your impression of him?
He doesn't sound like that.
Grant does not sound like
They don't have to be great impressions.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be great. It's just, I don't know. I just think it would be fun.
I don't know, Jessica, can you do an impression of John Jay for us so we can kind of get a vibe of what you're talking about? Or anyone, really?
What?
Oh, come on, Jessica. You can do it.
No, I can't. There isn't. Anytime I try to, like, do any type, like, for example, when I try to do an accent, my default is always, like, an Australian accent.
Okay.
That's what John Jay sounds like. He sounds Australian.
No, it's
Lean into
funny because my husband makes fun of me. He's like, I swear, he's like, every time you fail, he's like, you always default to this Australian accent. He's like, no matter how hard you try to do something else. So I would not even come close to impersonating anybody good.
That's hilarious. I'll do John Jay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I can't come. I have a thing.
John Jay's like,
That's spot on.
Yeah.
Spot on.
I mean, John Jay,
Yeah,
you're
the
like
sad
absurd.
thing is that I'm exactly like John Jay, so I would also have a thing.
It's hard to do an impression of him because I'll ask him a question, and a lot of times it's just a grunt on the way out. That's not an answer. So I'll be like,
Right.
hey, we're going to this meeting right now. Are you going to walk with us?
Right, like
you got it? You got it, bro? I guess I got it.
I get like, I got to go walk my fish type vibe from John Jay. Like,
I can do Nick, our producer.
Yeah, do Nick.
Hey, Nick, do you have all the copy for our commercials? Oh, I left it in the printer. Classic Nick and Grant.
Classic Nick and Grant.
Classic. That's classic Nick and Grant. Classic. I'll get it for you in a second. Then he walks down the hall and you see his back. And he's like, classic Nick and Grant. Get this,
tribute,
Kyle.
though. It's
Get
a
this. So yesterday, behind the scenes, and so it was on some of it was on my social media, but give us a little update on your father-in-law, the situation your father-in-law was in.
Okay, so my father-in-law recently lost his wife. My mother-in-law passed away in November of last year, and they were married 60 years. They never spent more than a weekend away from each other. So they were like the ultimate couple. And he's just been heartbroken ever since. And so he's been trying to do the things that my mother-in-law wanted to do when she was still with us, like He's getting another house. He wanted to get a puppy because she wanted a second dog. And so when he was searching for, that perfect puppy to bring into his home to, I don't know, like make Nancy happy from heaven, he was looking at a couple of different places and put in like a deposit here. And then he found this one great dog that's this cute little, I think it's like a golden doodle puppy. And so he slowly started bringing Murphy into his house and, making sure Murphy was friends with Bentley, his grown 8-year-old golden doodle. And then all of a sudden we get a text from my father-in-law and he's like, well, I forgot about putting in the deposit at the other place, and now I have another puppy. So he's got 2 puppies and an 8-year-old dog in his house, and he was extremely excited and overwhelmed, and he spent a couple of days with both the puppies, and I think he just got so extremely overwhelmed because he is still dealing with intense grief.
Yeah.
That he texted my husband to ask John Jay if he could possibly rehome the puppies. He just kind of felt like it maybe was too much, and he couldn't give them the right care and attention, and they're puppies, and so they'll find a great home really fast. And so
they're beautiful.
Then I texted you about it.
Right. So I tell my wife. My wife's like, yeah, of course we can take him. She calls your father-in-law's name's Roger, and they decide, because I guess he's going up north, they meet off the freeway at a gas station, right? And he's got these 2 puppies with him. And Kyle's father-in-law is so kind.
The nicest
He's such a
person.
kind man, right? So she meets him at the gas station. He's got 2 puppies. And he says to her, the puppies are beautiful. And he says to her, do you need both of them? And Blake's like, wait a minute, I don't need any of them. I'm like, and then he goes, is it okay if I keep this one? Right?
That's so nice.
So Blake comes home with 1 puppy. He keeps the other one.
Yeah.
And the one that he kept, apparently, according to my wife, is the most beautiful animal she's ever seen in her life. It's a golden doodle mixed with golden something else. It's like different levels. She says it's so beautiful, it's crazy. The other one that we took home is a Burmese mountain dog mixed with Bernese mountain dog and golden retriever. Cute. And it is, to me, the most beautiful dog I've ever seen, right? So I can't imagine what the other one looked like. So we take it home because our shelter is full, and I'm like, we'll just take it home and then we'll find a home for it. Didn't think about my son Dutch coming home and finding the dog.
No. Yeah.
Playing with the dog.
Puppy.
And
falling in
loving
love with
the dog.
Then my son Jake comes home, falls in love with the dog.
Yeah, pretty
plays
good.
with the dog. And this dog has like the best disposition of any dog I've ever seen. It's 8 weeks old and it's like trained and it's running around the house. And then I saw this thing happen in my house. It was this like magic with my boys, and they called Kemp and they FaceTimed Kemp in Hawaii. And they were trying to come up with names of dogs. And what are we going to call the dog? And they came up with all these names. And then I said, we got to call the dog. I like a story behind every name. I think we should call the dog Roger.
That's great.
Right?
And a proper name for a dog. I love that.
Right. So we started calling him Roger. Then Blake comes to bed last night. She goes, I don't know if this is the right thing for us at this time. She goes, because I'm the one that's going to be taking the dog out. I'm the one that's going to be doing all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, but I want you to pay attention to what happened last night, the magic of all the dog. She's like, you're right. So anyway, I don't know where we are right now, but Roger's in our house. And I'm just like, this is you got to see it on my stories. I never see it.
I
He's
watched
so
it
beautiful.
last night. I was like, oh, everyone loves Roger.